Welcome to Exploring Anime with Friends, a JMO for Real podcast on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. I'm your host, JMO. And today's friend is my wife and co-host, Sarah. How's it going today, Sarah?
It's going pretty good.
Are you excited for this top 5 episode?
I am very excited.
Awesome. So in today's episode, we will be breaking down our top 5 anime that we presented in Season 1 of Exploring Anime with Friends. We're also going to go over our top 3 looks that we made for characters for Season 1 too. So first we will break down and look at numbers 5 through 2 going back and forth. Afterwards, we will then give our top 3 looks of the season. And finally, we will tell you what our favorite anime was that was covered this season, and give you a sneak peek of some of what might be coming in the next season too. So remember, if you like what you hear today, follow us on our social media, linked in the show notes. All right, Sarah, so this is our top 5 episode for season 1.
Top 5.
So we're going from 5 to 1. We'll give an honorable mention in there, and we'll also go with our top 3 looks too. So what's your number 5, Sarah?
My number 5 is So I'm a Spider, So What?
Wow, okay, that's making a nice little appearance right at the end. Talk to us a little about it. Why is it in your top 5?
I mean, I do like that genre. I like the isekais. They're fun. But this one, it's different. Like, I know a lot of people say, well, my thing's different. But this one actually is different. It's very fun watching our main heroine going through this dungeon while watching all her classmates do their thing. And just the intermixing of the storylines. This is really good.
Awesome. Okay, so what did that barely just beat out? What's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention was S-Cried.
Okay, cool. And what was it that had it in contention for the top 5 spot?
I mean, S-Cried will always have like a nice little spot in my heart just because that was one of the first animes we really watched together. And it's just the storyline's good, all the looks and the designs of the characters are fun.
Okay, so in my number 5 spot, it took me a little while because it was really tough to battle it out between my honorable mention.
It really was.
I came to the conclusion that, you know what, as remarkable as I thought So I'm a Spider, So What was, and I thought it was, as I said before, the most intelligently written isekai, so there's the shout out to my honorable mention, So I'm a Spider, So What, I had to go with the Fairy Tale Guild. Natsu, Lucy, Urza, Gray.
Fair.
They really just make up the best protagonist grouping in, not best protagonist grouping, my favorite protagonist grouping. And I get it, when you're talking about iconic ones, you're thinking of Team 7 and you're thinking of the Z Warriors and everything. But for me, it's Fairy Tale's strongest team. And that is Natsu, Lucy, Gray, and Urza. The characters are written well. Yes, the story might not be the best story in the world, but I just love the way the characters are written. What checks in at your number 4 spot, Sarah?
I said I liked isekai, so my number 4 is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Okay, tell us a little about it. What makes it number 4 for you?
I really like the fact that Rimuru goes from being this little slime in a cave to building his own nation. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed all the fun characters. It's a good watch. These are all good watches.
Anything in particular you want to say about Rimuru or some of his friends?
I mean, I like Ranga. It's Big Wolf. Everyone's got to have a cool animal sidekick, right? And Ranga's pretty awesome. The fact that some of the goblins get like these big, awesome, beefy powers, and some of them not so much. They're all just great. The change from before they get their names to after they get their names is pretty cool.
Okay, clocking in at number 4 for me is Assassination Classroom. Koro Sensei is just a really fun character, and he goes from being like skeevy at times to just being the ultimate mentor. Like, we're talking top mentors in anime. Like, honestly, I don't think you can get too much better than him. And I know I'm just disappointing a lot of people and enraging a lot of people with that statement, but Koro Sensei will always be one of those characters where, and I get it, he's the main character. I'm not trying to say he stacks up against other main characters, but I'm trying to say he stacks up against top anime mentors. And I just really appreciate it, that the mix between serious moments and the mix between just the fun, stupid stuff that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And the personalities that you see develop for several of the members of the class. So I just really enjoyed Assassination Classroom. Your number 3, Sarah.
Speaking of, my number 3 is Assassination Classroom. Like for every reason you said, definitely. He's an amazing mentor. It's so great watching him just deal with each student on like an individual level. But the big thing for me is at the end, it got me. I haven't watched too many animes that like move me to tears, but I was crying so hard. It's such a great ending. It's just like I don't want to give any spoilers, but you like if you're thinking about watching it, watch it all the way through and hit that last episode. It's so great.
Yeah, it really is. So, clocking him at my 3 spot, this was your honorable mention, S-Cried.
It's fair.
I get it. It doesn't stand the test of time like other anime from that era did. And I get it that there are moments that definitely didn't age well through the years. And I can give it some criticisms as far as it should have picked the lane and stuck with it, whether to focus on the more comical aspect of it or to focus on really driving home the message of class inequality. But at the end of the day, it's the one that got me into it. And those messages, those strong messages are very clear. And it really just kind of makes you think over and over again. It's kind of like, you can see parallels of that world in today's world. And it's at many times thought-provoking, but then pulls you back to the meat-headed protagonist who's kind of like, I do this because it makes me feel good. Yeah. And it's like, so it's contradictory in many ways, but I think that contradiction is what endears it to me. All right, so go on to your number 2, Sarah.
My number 2 is Spy Family, and I absolutely love it. The switch up from like Yor and Lloyd doing their crazy like assassin and spy thing to Anya's like school time. I don't know how it works, but it just works so well. You get the seriousness of half the group, and you get the playful funness of what Anya's trying to do. And Anya's trying, like, not just her school stuff, but when she's actually, like, with Lloyd or Yor, she's trying to, like, help them, and she's actually helping them, but they don't know it.
Yeah, it really is amazing how they go back and forth with different episodes, because it's funny, your episodes feel like your episodes.
Yeah.
Lloyd episodes feel like Lloyd episodes.
Yep.
Anya episodes feel like Anya episodes. And even some occasional Bond episodes. But you're getting really 4 to 5 different flavors at any given point in time. And I really love the way it segues. Yeah. Because one episode isn't necessarily all about Anya. There might be a 5-minute clip where you're seeing what was going on with Lloyd at that point in time, or something going on. Anything about that really intrigues you, Sarah?
I mean, the way they set up the episodes is definitely great. Like, I completely agree on that stipulation.
It makes it so seamless to watch one episode after another, too,
yeah,
without actually realizing you're watching multiple.
It flows really well.
All right, so in my number 2 spot, I thought long and hard about this one. No, I didn't, because I have a clear one, and I've mentioned it multiple times, but Frieren Beyond Journey's End has a chance to compete against my number 1 someday, but I need more than one season of it out. The journey that Frieren is on, the themes of end of life, the themes of what have you taken for granted in your life, the thoughts of, it's kind of like you got to make every moment special, because you never know if this is the last time that you are going to go on this type of journey with these people. So, and even now, I'm even choking up a little about it, because I think there's all things that we would all want to revisit and redo. And frankly, we don't get a chance to, because we're not 1,000-year-old elves.
Yeah.
But getting a chance to actually see that through Frieren's eyes as she redoes the journey with Stark and Fern, it's just something that really drives it home and makes you think. All right, so let's just jump right on for a moment. We're going to leave our number 1 frozen away at this point in time, and we're going to jump into our top 3 looks of the season. If you noticed, every single week there was 4 new forms of art, except for the first 2 weeks. We had 2 forms the second week. We didn't have any art forms for the first one. So maybe I'll go back and make some Spy Family art and update the video a little, just to get Lloyd, Yor, Anya, and Bond in as the 4 characters.
That'd be perfect.
So I'll do Lloyd and Anya, you do Yor and Bond.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So I'll get those looks updated and put a new video up for that. Just get that edited. But we're picking out our top 3 favorite looks from this season. Start at your number 3, Sarah.
Oh, I didn't organize these like that.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, I'll just read them backwards order. Ethan as Ritsu. I thought that was clever. I like the way it was done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess we're gonna have overlap on this list.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
I'm gonna bump it down. It was higher on my list, but also Ritsu as Ethan as my number 3 too. Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun when Ethan commented that he wanted to be Ritsu, and I was like, okay, so I put a digital looking frame around and put the forest scenery in the background, and I give him pink hair.
There we go.
So, but yeah, it's a great look. It's from the Assassination Classroom episode. If you want to see it, what's your number 2, Sarah?
Well, you as Jalal.
Me as Jalal?
Yep.
Okay. It was a fun look to make. I will admit that I ripped off the face tattoo completely, but
for shame.
I actually thought that the fairy tale set of artwork was probably the best set of artwork.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
either
it was
that
good as a
or the
whole.
Beyond Journeys End, Free Run Beyond Journeys End artwork. My number 2 is going to be Leorio, and I get it. It's the second one I made of the season, but honestly,
That's my avatar on Instagram.
Sarah looks like she channeled her inner Leorio, or I guess in this case Leoria. Like,
There we go.
I love the fact that on Twitter or X, no, it's Twitter. I don't care what anyone says about that. That somebody commented they knew exactly that it was Tampa and Leorio. So that's kind of what really encouraged me to get everything going as far as that. So yeah, my number 2 was Leorio. And what's your number 1, Sarah?
My number 1 was, it's going to be terrible because it rhymes, Mark as Stark. And Mark, we saw your cosplay of Stark. You look great, man.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. And once again, I said Free Run Beyond Journey's End had some great artwork as a whole, too. I really enjoyed making that one, and the fairy tale ones the most. So, but yeah, no, the Marcus Stark definitely looked good. And my number 1 was, honestly, I'm giving it to me. As Fell. Like, honestly, I feel like the Fell from Campfire Cooking in Another World look actually worked out really well.
It
Because
did.
when you're trying to make yourself look like an animal, it doesn't always work. I've had a few poor connections where I just scrapped the idea and I went on to something different as far as the overall looks. But those are our top looks from the season. And if you're already getting hooked to all these different anime we're talking about, we recommend that you watch them for yourself on Crunchyroll, home to over 1,000 anime series and simulcast, both subbed and dubbed. The website is listed in the show notes. All right, Sarah, bring it home. What's the number 1?
For my number 1, I picked Free Run Beyond Journey's End. It was great. I started watching it before Jonathan started doing the podcast. And the first episodes were like, oh, wow, this is cool, like little slice of life, like fantasy thing going on. And then it just picked up and the momentum started building. And you really saw Freerin just try to connect with her friends that have passed through the memories she was sharing through the memories that she was going through. And it's such a fantastically done first season. I am so excited for the second season.
Yeah, they really kind of hit you hard right from the beginning with that first episode.
Yeah.
When you see the hero pass away and Freeman finally realizes how short life is for humans, right?
Yeah. At this point, like, she's just trying to, like, connect. She realizes that she didn't really know Himmel. They traveled for, I don't remember how long, but it was a big journey for them. And she's like, I didn't even really know who he was. And she's just had, like, I don't think she feels like her time was wasted necessarily, because they did a great thing. But she realizes that the friends that she had through that big journey, they're gone now. I mean, Aizen's still around. He's a dwarf. He's not nearly part of her life, but like...
But he's not adventuring anymore.
Yeah, he's old. He has succumbed to age. And she just realizes that she was with them for a very long time in that journey, but she missed out on so much.
Yeah, it's just something that connects to anyone, I think, at any age.
Yeah.
And realizing to maximize the relationships and just value relationships in your life. So, my number 1 will probably always be Hunter x Hunter.
That's a good one.
It's funny, too, because Gon is nowhere near my top anime protagonist. Like, I actually don't love the main character at all. I know it seems
I get
crazy,
it.
but like the different things that you're seeing, and I get it. Whenever there's a group always pushing towards a goal, they're always doing it for different reasons. And it's very tropey in that aspect because Kurapika's doing it for revenge, and Leorio's doing it in order to make sure that he doesn't lose anyone else that needs medical attention. And Killua's doing it just to be free, and Gon's doing it to find his dad and find out what the value of everything is. And I get that is in and of itself is very tropey, but they really play the stories out really well for all four characters. And they don't just play it out well for them. You don't just see the development. You don't just see Kurapika spiral into the abyss of revenge.
Yeah.
You don't just see Leorio give up being an important person in the Hunter Society in order to continue medical school.
Yeah.
You don't just see Killua finally break the full toxic bonds that there was with his assassin family. And you don't just finally see Gon get reunited with his dad. You see the development and the journey and the hard choices and the risks that were taken by each of them to get to the point where, yes, this is who we are, and and you also see compelling characters brought in alongside them the whole way. The supporting cast are amazing.
Oh, definitely.
The villains they go against are amazing. Like, honestly, you can't watch the York New City arc and not root for the Phantom Troop at times.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that out
That's
plain
true.
there. They make every character of the series very well, and I think the stories just flow well one into another. Yes, there's one arc that feels a little out of place, but I really feel like the world is very connected, though you're focusing in on different parts at different times. That's the reason why I like that so much.
Nice. I agree. I mean, I know it didn't make my top 5, but it's still really an excellent anime.
Yeah, the first season was chock full of a whole bunch of great ones. Like, I'm not going to regret the list that I put together from it, but definitely look back at everything. If there's something you haven't seen from the first season, watch it. Watch it on Crunchyroll.
Definitely, yep.
But yeah, and just a quick sneak peek of what we're going to be hitting in the second season. There's going to be some fun ones. There's going to be some fan-submitted ones that are being put in, including Delicious in Dungeon, Neon Genesis Evangelion. There's going to be some co-host picks that include Bocchi the Rock, Attack on Titan, and Code Geass. And just some fun ones that I want to see in there, including Yuri on Ice and Afro Samurai. So that's some of what you're coming to expect in Season 2. And in Season 2, we will also have specials in the off week occasionally where we break down an anime movie that we watch together. So I hope you guys are looking forward to all of that and excited for Season 2 coming up. So once again, we recapped our top 5 anime of Season 1. We also broke down our top 3 looks of Season 1, too. And then we went into a little more in depth on our favorite anime of Season 1 and gave you a sneak peek of what's going to be going on in Season 2. I hope you had as much fun exploring our top 5 anime of Season 1 as we did, and that you consider watching these shows. So if you like what you heard today, make sure to listen to us on Apple and Spotify. All of our podcasts are there. All of the J-Mail for Real podcasts are on there. Check us out on social media and interact with us there. It is linked in the show notes. Until next time, this has been Exploring Anime with Friends, a J-Mail for Real podcast. Let's explore together.